Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Cory. And welcome to the 1,000 Sub Show. First of all, I just want to thank everybody who has subbed. We truly appreciate all of it. But I think when we hit maybe the 900 mark, we had a few people asking us to do a question, like a Q&A type of show. So we said, screw it. When we hit 1,000 subs, we'll do this Q&A. Send us whatever questions you want. Floor is yours, and we'll answer whatever. So our subscribers did not disappoint. We got a fuckload of questions, and from a bunch of people in the comments on Twitter. So we're going to do our best to hit all of these. I don't want to make this a 2-hour long form show, but yeah, we can get off and running and just start answering some questions.
Well, first off, a 2-hour long form show just about us sounds splendid.
That's terrible. That's awful. It's such.
What are you talking about? We're so interesting. But second, what Armando said, like when we started this show, dude, we had no inclination of ever even remotely coming close to 100 subs, let alone 1,000. Like for us, this is like 100,000. We're celebrating. I celebrated way hard last night, but this is just, it's really a surreal thing because you guys have let us do a form of comedy that we have just done fucking around with each other.
Hell yes.
The fact that more than 4 people actually positively responded to this show and what we are doing to us is just phenomenal. We feel like the biggest comedians in the world.
That's hilarious because there was no delusions of grandeur and like we're gonna be the next, I don't know, insert a YouTuber in here or whatever, or the next comedian. It was just and that was one of the questions. How did the show start? So, and this is years in the making, because you and I talk quite frequently. And 90% of our conversations centered around movies, sports, and just bullshit.
Yes.
And making fun of movies and sports and the like. And I know because I was doing a sports podcast at the time, and I know you were pushing like, dude, this is funny stuff. And we should totally do a show. And I was like, full-time job. I got the other show I'm doing. I pushed you off for quite a long time before I was like, dude, we absolutely need to do this.
Yeah, I was basically the little dog in the cartoon and you were the big dog. And I'm like, hey, Skip, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do? Where are we going?
It was, and I think it was it was after we were talking. I think we had both just watched The Karate Kid. Because we were on the phone and we were just ripping it to shreds and laughing our asses off. And I was like, all right, I think this might be a thing.
Yeah, and we if you watch our Karate Kid episode, available on the Kiss Reviews channel. But if you watch that episode is literally our phone conversation, just in a more professional manner.
Because with more structure.
Yeah, we beat the shit out of that movie in every which way we could.
Yeah.
And that's when the light bulb finally went off in Uncle Fester's fucking head over here. And he got it.
Yes. And I think you had visited not too long after. I was living in Ohio at the time, and you'd come down. And you'd got there at like 3 a.m. or some crazy shit like that. And I was watching Kiss the Girls.
Yes.
At the time. And you came in, we got fucked up, watched the remainder of Kiss the Girls, and literally just pissed our pants. And we're like, all right, while you're here, let's record the show. So the very first show, which I don't know if you've watched the very first show. It's, in my estimation, it is god awful. There's
Oh,
barely any edits. There's no like video clips to it. It was just very raw in like my spare bedroom with my radio equipment.
yeah, that was
Um,
basically the mixtape we were trying to get the radio station to play at the time. And
exactly.
I've seen it one time since we recorded it. Because the initial, like, once we did it, I was like, yo, this is funny as shit. We're going to be rock stars. And then it was like, ugh, that's just not it, dude. That
Yeah,
is not
it,
it. That is the
it
one show I would love to go back and re-record. And if you would like us
absolutely.
to re-record that, comment down below because I would love to know if you feel the same way I do.
Absolutely. I feel exactly the same way. And that's where the name came, because we had that weekend, we worked on a ton of different names.
Yes.
And I think we're like, no, that's too stupid. That's lame. That's not funny. Um, and it got down to like, I don't know, let's just call it like two drunk assholes watching shit or something. It was just all over the place. And then it was kind of like the homage to Kiss the Girls. We were like, dude,
Yes.
fuck it, just kiss the reviews. One of us just said that, and it was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. We'll just run with that. And
Yeah,
it
no,
was like, oh, go ahead.
you came up with the name and it stuck. It was also not taken by anybody else because
Yes.
unbeknownst to us, we were not the first ones to come up with the idea to review movies on YouTube. So
Exactly.
yeah, that was a task in and of itself. That almost killed the show before it even started. Was just trying to find a fucking name.
Yes, it did.
It was so aggravating. I just wanted to call it Siskel and Ebert and see
And
what we could do. Which I found out a lot of people still think we are. Which
it,
newsflash, kids, we're
we're not.
not.
We're
This is
not.
not. If you haven't caught up, if this is maybe your first time checking it out, we dipped into the YouTube algorithm now, and you're like, oh, who are these two jerk offs? We're not reviewing any of these fucking movies. What
Yeah.
we're doing is we're taking the situations that are ridiculous in movies, transitioning them to real life, and then at the end, seeing if the movie actually stands up to today's ridiculous cancel culture PC standards. That's all we're doing. If you
Yeah.
want reviews and the cinematography and get the fuck out of here. Go watch somebody else because that ain't us, homie.
Well, I can't speak to that because I've never shot a film. So I have no idea how light and shade and just lights in general work. So I can't speak that. I could tell you if a
Yeah.
movie's funny. I could tell you if, in my estimation, if it stands up. And I can absolutely rip on every situation in every movie, including the movies we love.
Yes.
And I think that's the main thing here. This was a We can literally rip on everything. You want to rip on The
Mm-hmm.
Godfather, you want to rip on A Bronx Tale, you want to rip on some of these just fantastic movies that absolutely still stand the test of time. But there's situations that are in these movies that are ridiculous.
Yes.
In if you transition those into real life.
Oh
So
yeah, exactly. And we're taking a piss on everybody's movies. And if you have a sense of humor, you're probably going to enjoy what we're doing because there's no reason to take anything seriously we say. Neither
absolutely.
of us read, and I'm a writer. We're not the guys that know what is actually happening behind the scenes.
No,
We're just
I'm
not.
the kid. I'm the kid you didn't want to cheat off of in school. I'm half a moron. Like it's not even funny. But with that said, what are some of the questions that we got? I'll let you lead this thing off.
Just answer the question.
Why don't you just answer the question?
Be honest, no big deal.
Yeah, answer it.
Some of the questions we're getting, a lot of the questions we're getting, obviously revolve around movies. Go figure. So, Damien specifically, because he got there first and has donated shitloads of money to request every movie under the sun. He has asked, what is our favorite movie genre? And what is our favorite movie?
Okay.
I'll let you
I,
go first.
I was gonna say I'll go first just because I'm awesome. Uh my so favorite genre. I don't have a favorite genre. You know how I feel about lists and things. It's so hard, especially when you talk about favorite movie.
Hmm.
If I had to pick just one, I mean, it would probably be like Goodfellas as far as a movie goes that I could just watch a ton and not get bored with it.
Hmm.
As far as genre, it's comedy or horror. And 9 times out of 10, I revert to comedy because I obviously don't take anything seriously. So that's that's typically my where I venture off to if I'm just looking for something in general to watch. It's always under comedy.
Nice, nice. For me, it's almost reverse. I love the horror genre, and I love the horror genre because when I get scared, I just make jokes. So I just get to make fun of the movie and have fun with it when it scares the holy shit out of me, which most of them do because I'm a bit of a pussy. But but yeah, horror is definitely my favorite. That said, my favorite movie of all time is Casablanca. For all of the bullshit I just said about not understanding movies and behind the scenes and all of that jazz, that movie to this day is perfection. It's funny, it's exciting, there's some decent action. A lot of the hokiness of those old movies it just doesn't exist. It's a really, really good movie, and I'm a World War II bit of a nut. I love learning about that shit, and that's the
Me too.
setting of this.
Yep.
So, yeah, to me, it's just a perfect movie. And if you want to hear all the reasons why, you can on your next favorite movie, a friend of the show, wherever podcasts are available. Because I sat
And
down with the host, Josh, for what was it, about 20 minutes and talked about Casablanca
yep,
nonstop. So
yep.
check it out. It's
That
also
was
one of his highest rated shows.
yeah, hey, got to plug yourself.
God
Well,
damn right.
while helping somebody else. It's a win-win. It's a
We,
win-win.
we can all eat, Daddy.
Um, the other question we got, so as far as because there was the who came up with the idea, I'm just gonna give that to you. That was all you that started the whole thing. Um,
I mean,
but
I'll take it. But in all honesty, I just wanted to do a show. I just knew we would have a lot of fun doing a show
yeah,
together, regardless if anybody else thought it was funny. So
yeah,
I'll give the full concept to both of us. But yeah, I was the one that was driving somebody that was too high and mighty to do a show with his lowly friends.
that is true. That is true. And so here's another question. When do you guys find the time to watch the movies between work and family and whatnot? Which is a great question. But for me, I have no life. So it's literally whenever I find the time. We don't watch them. It's not like we watch them together at the same time, or it's not even like we discuss anything before I
No.
hit record. There aren't like Cory like writes his own jokes. I write my own jokes as we watch the movie, and then we just come in, show up, and throw up, and there's the show. Um, but I'll be let's be honest. A lot of times I watch it right before we record because I'd like to do a bit of drinking. Um, and there's a lot of times where I'll pass out before I actually get to watch the movie. So
Mhm.
it's like we record super early. So 90% of the time I'm hungover, like I just watched the movie. Let's do this.
Yeah, for me, I don't care about friends or family, so I can watch it whenever the fuck I want. But
That's fair.
for the most part, I typically, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I don't really sleep because most of my tweets get fired between like 1 and 3 a.m.
Yes, they do.
Uh, so I typically will watch the movie again like around 3 a.m. When everybody's quiet in the whole neighborhood, and I can just focus on the movie because day of, by the way, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
day of recording, because I hate writing jokes. I hate writing anything down. I just try and go off of the cuff as much as I possibly can. And the only way I can possibly remember in this drug addled brain of mine what the movie we were even doing was when it's time to record is to literally watch it hours before we do it.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Here's another one, which I actually enjoyed this question. Are there movies that get requested with pay that are just too painful to sit through?
I would love to say, like, yeah, fuck that movie. I can't do that, man. If you're paying for us to watch a movie, I'm gonna watch. It's 2 hours of my life, and then I get to go on. It's gonna sound weird, but then I get to go on with my best friend and make fun of it. So yeah. It's the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when Howard the Duck, and I have to sit there and watch it and then talk about it for an hour.
Which, by the way, you can tell that it was painful to sit through for you. If you just go to the Howard the Duck and just stare at you like...
Fuck whoever made this movie.
The anger oozing off your body was fucking awesome.
I'm getting pissed even remembering that moment.
Oh, shit. Any questions that you have? I know we have like boatloads in front of both of us. Any questions that pop out to you?
Yeah, actually, since we're on movies, one of the questions we got is, do we like reviewing bad movies, or do we like reviewing really good movies more? I'll answer that one first, because to me, obviously watching a really good movie is so much better than watching a really bad movie.
100%.
However, a really bad movie makes our job so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. Like, I've had comments from friends or family that watch the show where they're like, oh, Beverly Hills Cop, great episode. Not your funniest moments, though. And it's like, yeah, there's nothing to make fun of. That movie's amazing.
No,
but
that's...
in the question, they mentioned, like, St. Elmo's Fire. That movie was so easy to fucking destroy because, A, it's beloved by everybody just younger than me, which just made it delicious to chew apart. But 2, there's no fucking plot to the fucking movie.
No, you're 100% right. I love, again, watching good movies is awesome, but watching bad movies for the sake of the show makes our job easier. The jokes they write themselves. And the especially, like, again, with a comedy, when you talk about genres in a comedy, that's a lot of it is like making these situations absurdly ridiculous.
Yes.
In St. Elmo's Fire case, it's absurdly ridiculous, and it's supposed to be a serious movie, which again makes the jokes they just tumble out of you. I don't even know that I think I wrote 3 jokes for that show. The rest just kind of fell out of my face. But even in cases like Fear, I love the movie Fear, but Fear is just the situations, the decision making, and a lot of it's decision making. It's fucking ridiculous, but like that's one of my favorite shows that we did because it's literally just a stand-up bit about one movie. It's like...
No, it was Fear. Coincidentally, was the first time I realized that we actually had like a real show and not a vanity project between the two of us.
I still sometimes think it's a vanity project.
Oh, it still is, but it's much more of a real show to the outside world.
Yes, 100%, absolutely.
But here's a big one that I think is going to take up a little bit more time, so we'll get to it as far as question-wise, which is how we met. Which is a fair question because we should not be legally allowed to be even close to each other.
You were right.
I'll take this one to start. So we met at a radio station that we were both working at years ago. 22 years ago?
Yeah, approximately. A young, doughy-eyed Cory Idol walked through the doors of a small-town radio station. In his pleated Dockers and his button-down shirt that was a size too big.
It was this shitty AM radio station in Podunk, nowhere, Ohio, and we literally, we were the two like most normal. Get this, the two most normal people in that fucking building. It was
Yeah.
littered with just trash. You talk about you being an Arizona trash bag, like this was just trash bags strewn about. And like I hated the job, you hated the job, and we found solace in ripping on everybody and everything at that station.
Yeah, man. Just to set the scene, I was running. That's how fucked up the station was. I was running the news and sports department, which basically meant I went online and went, the factory shut down today. God damn you, unions! And in sports, the local high school lost again because they fucked a sheep on the field. Moving on. But so that was my job. Armando was in sales.
Yep.
Armando's boss was Farva from Super Troopers. The station manager was just bald and sweaty and angry. And I remember he was
real sweaty.
Never happy with anything I ever did, regardless. And then like the station owner would come in and be like, "Hey, Cory, if you keep up the good work, we're going to put you on TV." And I was like, "Yo, fuck this place."
The fact that they thought they could put your face on TV is laughable in and of itself.
Yeah. Hi. Watch Kiss the Reviews. This is not going on news. Profile shots of this nose are never, ever going on national television.
But we were literally inseparable. And I lived like 45 minutes away.
Yep.
From this station. You lived right in town. How you lived there was beyond me. But
I didn't. I stayed at other people's places because I had a basement apartment that had mushrooms growing out of the tiles. And it was not me, because I am literally the cleanest human being on the planet.
I was going to say, with your OCD, you made that place look like a museum. Like, it was astonishing. Every time I came over, I was like, God damn, he like cleans and shit. Like, you go to my apartment looked like downtown Baghdad. Like,
it was there was sand in the carpet for some reason.
No beaches anywhere near. But no, we were like inseparable for a long while.
Yes.
Until, somebody else stepped in and decided to say that I was a bad influence on Cory, which honestly is not entirely false.
Well,
I think we were bad influences on each other because we should both either be dead or in jail at this point.
Yeah, the next phase of our story is, it's almost a blessing and a curse, because my ex-wife, who we shall name Venom for the rest of this episode. Yeah, so Venom came along, and I desperately needed to get the fuck out of this radio station because I was making $900 a month. Yeah. Working literally in the winter 24 hours a day, like at the station, because, snowfall and school closings, and that was all my job.
Yeah.
So there I was. And it wasn't worth it. And this Venom came along and, like the symbiote, took over my body, got me the fuck out of there, got me a different job, a real job. But she also was making a lot of bad decisions that I just was too fucking stupid to realize anything. I was still trying to figure out who the fuck I was. And then it was like, oh, I can't move in with you unless we get married. And I was like, I'll get married. That sounds like a good idea.
A similar story happened to a young man in the Pacific Northwest about 20 years ago.
That was the basic beginning of the end for us for how long?
10 years?
Yeah.
10 years. And then, God bless Mark Zuckerberg. 10 years later, like, it was a slow, it wasn't like we can't talk anymore. And it was kind of like the slow process, and then a cutoff, and then 10 years of just not
Radio
talking.
silence. Yeah. Dead air.
So, and then I think I reached out to you because you were actually at the time you were on Facebook.
Yeah.
Go.
That's how long ago that was.
Yeah, go figure.
That's
and
what I was the guy that was like, politics.
Yeah.
Come on, who gives a fuck?
I was like, oh, I just was like, interested to see what he's up to now. Is he still living close by? Is he moved? And you were like in, I don't know, in Asia somewhere. I don't even know where the hell you moved, but it was not close to where I was. But I saw you'd written a book, read the book, and then I think I just messaged you and just was like, hey, checked out the book. Fucking cool story, bro.
Watch out, Twitter followers, because this motherfucker can slip into a DM like nobody's business.
Yeah, I was sly as fuck, though.
He's like fucking Drake smooth when he slips into your DMs. Be careful.
Well, listen, I'm not the type of person that's just gonna fucking talk to somebody, whether in real life or online or whatever, without something to talk. I needed something to fucking break the ice, which was I didn't want to be like, hey, dude, what's going on? Long time no speak. It's just dumb.
No,
gave me something to talk about.
I was very glad you did, because I was far too embarrassed to ever reach out to you, because I knew it was 100% my fault. As much as we can blame Venom and say it was all on her, I'm a grown-ass man. I was as much responsible as anybody, so I was embarrassed as shit. And then when you reached out, it was like, hey, I'm doing this sports show and, blah, 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 just kind of catching up. I checked out your show, loved it. We actually talked on the phone. And then from there, it was just off and running. You were like, hey, man, are you free? Because my co-host can't do the show with me. I guest hosted a show with you. And it was like 0 time had passed.
Yeah.
We fell right into form, and just the rest is quite literally history. I've talked to this dude more than I've talked to my mom or dad, probably.
Yeah.
On a weekly basis since that day.
No, absolutely. And then, the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. So thanks, Venom. Good try, bitch.
You fucked up, bitch.
Back to our questions. We can loosen up this story again. How did you guys meet? How long you been friends? Ooh, here's some hard-hitting questions for Armando. And I know the crowd wants to know this.
Nobody does. Nobody wants to know.
Everybody is asking me. My Twitter feed has blown up with Armando's workout routine questions. If you don't know, Armando, during The Secret of My Success, wanted to literally and figuratively flex for everyone in the crowd. Look, Armando has come a long way. You can watch past shows. He's taken his body weight very seriously because it's working. He's gone from like Fat Mac to like Rip Mac. And he's like, fuck it. Secret of My Success is the perfect opportunity for me to do.
Okay.
Now, here's how this started, okay? Before we get into his workout routine. No. I'm not letting you lie to these people anymore. We get on the show and we both had the same idea that one of us has to pose, right? Because every now and again, we'll do a bit before the show starts.
Yes.
Just to kind of play along with whatever movie we were doing. Secret of My Success, it was obvious one of us had to do the flexing shirtless pose. And I was like, well, Michael J. Fox is skinny. I'm skinny. Maybe it should be me. But I really didn't want to do it because I had just taken my shirt off for Varsity Blues?
Yes. What do you mean just? It was like 2 years ago.
That's a just for me taking my shirt off on camera. So I was like, you know what, though? It makes the most sense. I go, maybe we should have somebody take this. I'm going to do it. I'm taking my shirt off. I've got it all. I'm wearing the tie. I got the shirt. Fuck you. I'm like, all right, bro. I guess I'm the secretary then.
That's totally within my personality of self-loathing that I wanted to jump at the chance to take my shirt off on camera.
That's how I heard it.
Okay, I'm glad that's how you heard it. But as Cory said,
your workout routine, I think, is the point. We're moving on past the background.
Okay.
We all know the real story.
Here's my workout routine and diet. It's very simple. Vigorous masturbation. I play the drums occasionally. And honestly, my diet consists of like 3 burritos a day and some Cheez-Its. Like that's really it. I mean, I watched the show previously. And the show is one thing because you're not in front. There's no one-on-one interaction with the actual people that watch the show. So I watched the show and I'm like, God, you're fat. God, you're fat. And then, at some point, you and I joked about this on the phone the other day, which was sometimes when you get fat, it's a joke. Like, I'm the jolly fat guy, and let me buy small shirts as a fat guy because that's funny. Because that's my personality.
I thought this shit fit.
It fits nice. I like it. But at some point, being fat stops being funny. And because I hate myself, I looked in the mirror and I went, oh, it was, I bought an outfit that I was like, yo, when I bought it, I was like, man, I'm gonna look like a pimp. It was a fedora. It was the thing. Like, it was like, what? And I put it on and I was like, oh, you look like a fat, like cartel, like cocaine dealer guy. I was like, this isn't good. So yeah. So then I stopped eating so many. My diet before consisted of like Taco Bell and McDonald's and pizza.
And if you want to see what Armando's bloated coke dealer looks like, check out Jurassic Park.
Yes, that's the outfit.
That's the episode and the outfit that he was wearing when he had this revelation.
So dude, yeah,
you are like the Oprah Winfrey of YouTubes.
Yes,
like your weight loss is being celebrated, and I'm glad our viewers have recognized it.
Yeah,
because if we just did a podcast, nobody would see it.
Yes,
you'd still be shirtless and posing, but nobody would see it.
Yeah,
and that would be the sad thing.
You're goddamn right.
Any other questions, Cory?
Let's see. We were asked about what our day jobs are.
I work from home.
Yeah, and I'm a writer, so I don't work most of the time.
Cory sleeps on and off throughout the day. That's why he wakes up at 3 a.m. No, my job entails beep boop beep. That's the title of my job. I just beep boop beep all day long. I work from home. Thanks, COVID. But yeah.
And hey, Armando, what's your favorite food?
Burritos, obviously.
Clearly,
chicken burritos. No, if there is one food that I have to live off of for the rest of it's pizza. I fucking love pizza. Make all the freaking Dago jokes you want, man. Pizza is the goddamn shit.
I love it.
That's my kryptonite.
So let me ask you this then: what's your favorite pizza topping? That's an automatic question.
Sausage and banana peppers.
Nice. You're very Italian.
I like my pizza with sausage and banana peppers. It's fucking beautiful.
Do you order a pizza like the Sopranos talk about, like mozzarella?
No, don't.
That's so disappointing.
No, that's New Jersey Italian. That's not like real. Nobody says mozzarella. That's a bastardization of the Italian language and how to pronounce things. Just FYI.
I knew that because I've already had this talking to. I was just I was laying up a PSA for the kids out there.
Just giving me a softball.
Uncle Cory's always got your back.
I appreciate
always
it.
got your back.
I appreciate it.
My favorite food, if anybody gives a fuck, is breakfast. I like breakfast food. I could eat breakfast food 24/7, 365. I don't give a shit. Love me some breakfast food. Full variety. That's it. Am I a 12-year-old kid? Maybe. But I'm also in a grown-ass man's body, so I can eat it anytime I fucking want to.
You're all grown up.
Uh, and we were asked, when can you see my bare chest? Again, I said Varsity Blues was the time. Little whipped cream nips that fell off. I have to talk to Ali Larder's people on that show, because
It's
how did they get that shit to
it's
stick
not
to
it's
titties?
it's shaving cream. It's not whipped cream. That's
Really?
that's what they use. Yes.
God damn it! I went all out. I was just hoping somebody would lick it off of me, but nope.
No, whipped cream doesn't stick, as we found out during
Yeah, that shit fell like a turd. It just
Like-
went ploop.
My favorite part about that, by the way, just side note, was when we were recording it and you couldn't get them to stay. The whipped cream, like you had leaned back
Yep.
and like slowly walked up to the camera, and then you were like, "I'm just gonna like lean forward and do the thing, and then like we'll see if we can kind of cut it together and make it work." And literally, right in the middle of the shit, it just fell off, which made it funnier, by the way.
Oh yeah, like my chest is concave, so that shit just slid. It was like a slip and slide at the time. It was not good. So yeah, I guess if you want to see my bare chest, either pay to see Magic Mike, or because I'm next on deck to take something off,
Yes.
or we'll go back and watch Varsity Blues, which is probably easier for everyone.
So when we review Little Giants, you'll be doing the flex in that one. That's our next review.
I think $100 for Little Giants will absolutely get me to do the flex with my actual glasses on, because that's what I normally have to wear.
Yes.
So yeah, that'll be worth some money, kids. Finally, we asked, have we ever thought about branching out? Reviewing other shit.
Yes. Often.
Yeah, we talk about it. It's I think it's more of just how we would go about doing it, as opposed to doing it.
The original idea for the show, if I recall, was like, hey, we're gonna do movies and music and all things like 80s and 90s, like from like when we grew up and yada yada. And if the music and toys and whatever still hold up, we're just gonna run the full spectrum of all of that.
Yeah, because I remember specifically, because my thought was, and go back and listen to this now, was End of the Road. That is the most condescending dickhead fucking song ever fucking written. And if you ever spoke to me like that during a breakup, I'd fucking smack the piss out of you. Are you crazy?
I'm pretty sure that's how you talked to me before we stopped talking for 10 years.
Girl, you don't know what love is.
No, it's really hard. Like music is especially, because there's obviously nostalgia attached to movies. And as we've seen in comments of us making fun of movies that people love their movies. But you know what they love more than their movies? Fucking music. Because music is nostalgic as fuck. It takes you back to a time, to a place, and you hold on to that shit. That's why when you get older, like Cory and I, well, I'll speak for me. You just turn into the angry man, like, that's not music. Oh, no. Like, because you're still stuck in this, like I'm still stuck in 1995 to like 2005 when it comes to like my favorite music, like all through the 90s and then into the early 2000s. And like now I'm like, well, that's not this mumble rap shit. Like, I'll be honest, I do like some of it, like it, but it's got a groove. But when you're talking about music or toys, you immediately go, it's hard to do a comedy show when you're go back and see Beverly Hills Cop.
Very, very true. Yeah, I'm really glad we didn't make fun of the music in Thelma and Louise. Because then we really could have got raked over the coals for telling a joke.
Yes, they're jokes, people.
Fucking assholes. I just never understood that. And yeah, I'd like to explore some music. At the same time, like, dude, watch some of these other reaction channels, man.
They're fantastic.
They're great. They pick up so much more than we do. And the formula's out there. If you want a lot of viewers fast,
Yeah.
fucking review Eminem songs.
Yeah.
I love Eminem, but I'm not going to fucking review his songs. I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. I just like to listen to it. And as we've discussed during Whiplash, I don't know a fucking thing about music. I'm not qualified for that. I'm far more qualified to discuss movies and writing as opposed to somebody like Eminem's pen. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I going to do? Question
And-
Shakespeare and Aaron Sorkin too? Hey, Bill Gates, your computer sucks, you dick.
Well, and kind of piggybacking off of that, branching off into other things, have you guys thought about doing Patreon perks for your members, like t-shirt, stickers, etc.?
No, what else does it say? Our viewers don't write etc. What does it say?
Have you guys thought about doing a Patreon with perks for your members, like t-shirts, stickers, maybe a signed pic of Armando or Cory shirtless?
I don't think it said Cory. Woo, woo! We want to see Armando's titties.
Yeah, see them
Hashtag
titties.
free the nipple.
So yes, we actually have discussed that as well. We discussed here's the thing.
We've never discussed selling autographed pictures of ourselves.
No, not that. But like, here's the thing about Cory and I. Here's the thing about Cory and I, and if you've realized anything over the, however many videos we've done, we're the laziest two bastards on the planet. We've discussed merch. We've discussed like, well, maybe when we hit a certain point, we could start like the 10 people that watch us aren't going to want to buy t-shirts. Like, who gives a shit? But maybe when we hit 1,000, maybe when we hit 10,000, maybe. But we're literally so lazy. I think I mocked up, and you could see them in a couple of our old videos, like the KTR hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally ordered 2, one for you, one for me, and like that was it.
Ask him how much he gave a shit about my head size.
Dude, my hat is entirely too big for me too.
I look like Mushmouth when I put that motherfucker on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was that was a drunken middle of the night like order project that I did. So
They're great hats. I wish I could wear them out. I love them.
They were ill-fitting, and it was not awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely take the blame for that one. But yes, we have thought about it, and like a lot of these questions, like, have you thought about doing this or merch or whatever? Yes, but we're so fucking lazy that it's like we don't really make any money, so it's hard to hire something. Like, I'd love to have like a marketing person, because we've never marketed the show, we've never advertised this anywhere, it was just like, we'll throw it out there, and if people like it, cool, and if not, I guess we're just gonna, this is just literally a vanity project. But yeah,
I have no disagreement there. We just if you guys want it, ask us. I have no problem going that route. It's just like, I think one person was like, yo, that hat's dope. So
yeah,
I just don't think it's something we're really seriously considering yet. But at the same time, if you feel a Uncle Cory's PSA t-shirt is needed in the world, we'll listen.
No, absolutely. And by the way, I haven't worn that hat. I mean, outside that it's ill-fitting. I haven't worn that hat because there's literally a pizza stain on the fucking hat. Don't ask me, like a sauce stain. I don't know how or why or when. I just looked at it and I was like, how'd that get there? That sucks.
Animal! You're like fucking Animal from the goddamn Muppets. You're a drummer and you eat pizza like an asshole.
Dude, I just throw pizza at my face and hopefully it makes it in. Like, that's just
He was not bullshit. He really does like pizza.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I think we hit them all. If we missed a question, let us know. We'll answer it at some other point. We'll answer it at the 2000 show.
Yeah.
But I can't. It's really weird because, again, it's only 1,000 subs, but I can't thank you guys enough. It means the world to us that many people actually think we're funny and give a shit to hear our jokes every week.
Yep.
I love it when you guys comment, even when I have to slap somebody around a little bit in the comments. I appreciate the compliments way more, but
Yes.
no, I really do. I love it. I love taking care of the comments. Love talking to you guys. Love the followers we're getting on Twitter now, and talking to some of our more regular viewers a little bit more.
Yep.
And as I told Steph on Twitter, Steph and Christina, this is a win for all of us. We're celebrating, and our regular viewers that watch us all the time, I hope you guys are celebrating too, because you are literally the only reason we are here. Because we don't tell anybody about this show.
Yeah, I don't think half my family knows that I do this show. So
No. So people like Louise, Christina, that are sharing this show on the regular on Twitter, can't thank you enough. All of our regular guys that I'm not going to mention because we're going to miss, but Damien, Steph, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
We fucking love you guys. If it was only the 10 of us, we'd do this fucking show.
No, absolutely. It might be just a Zoom call. We would just do that.
We'll just do an Amazon watch party next time.
Absolutely. No, same. When we came up with the idea, there was never a thought that we'd get to, like, we talked about, like, hey, if and when we hit 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever, let's dream big. And for two people who hate themselves, it's really hard to dream big. But I never thought we'd get more than maybe 50 or 100. Like, like, I do remember, I forget, it might have been Fear. It was one of the early shows where I think we had, like, I don't know, 20 views, 30 views within the first few hours that we had released the show. And we were so fucking excited. Like, dude, people are watching this. Do you believe this is so great? And here we are. So thank you guys. Thanks for sharing the keep sharing the show, please.
Yes, because we're not going to get any better at marketing it.
No, we're not. Like, we've done this whole show. I forgot to say, follow us on Twitter. By the way, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow me at Junior D's. You can follow Cory at Cory_idol.
Jesus Christ.
That's how good at this shit we are.
Road to 10,000 has started.
Yes. And we definitely won't get there unless you guys share the shit out of the show.
Yeah, share the show. Regular requests could go in the comment section. However, I do this all the time. I cannot caution you enough. If you want to see your request anytime within the next literal 13 weeks, you have to make your request on PayPal. There is no specific dollar amount, but you hit the donate button or send money button. Throw us 50 cents if it makes you feel better. But that's the best place to request your movie. There is no set dollar amount. However, as we've discovered, if you do throw us $100, we're going to turn that shit around same week.
Yep.
Period. We are going to get that done and out for you. The list of PayPal request movies are on Twitter.
Yep.
Check those out. That's about all I got, man.
All right. Yeah, I don't got anything else. I'm glad that we actually got questions from people, because that would have sucked. We'd have been like, yeah, we're not doing 1,000 show because nobody sent us shit.
It was all my mom and dad, just under pen names, pseudonyms.
Yeah, so I'm glad we got to do the show, and yeah, that's all I got. I'm good. So for Cory, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was our 1,000 sub show when Cory met Armando. Aww.